let's take a look at the investigate step of the problem-solving model. Step 2 of our problem-solving model, investigate, is where we gather information to define the problem. Much of the effort of problem solving involves understanding what the underlying issues really are. Look for root causes, related information, ideas, risks, costs, and benefits associated with problems. Defining the real problem is the first major milestone on the way to a solution. It frequently takes as much time to identify and understand the problem as it does to solve it. When you investigate a problem, it's important to identify a few key elements of the problem. Here are 3 tools to use as you go. First, you'll need to identify stakeholders. Who else does the problem impact? Who can help you gather information? These are the folks you should talk with to understand the nuances of the challenge. Stakeholders are those who are affected by your problem or whose involvement you need to resolve the matter. You need to identify them, listen to them, and involve them as you work. Their input is vital to your success as you investigate, so that you accurately define your problem. Incorrectly defining your problem will lead to you incorrectly brainstorming and implementing a solution that might not be effective. There are a number of stakeholders to consider. Let's take a look. The first are problem owners. Who are you solving the problem for? This is your problem owner. The answer might be you or someone else. When you solve a problem from another person or group, you assume the responsibility for developing a satisfactory solution for them. Problem solving is about working with or for others. Your interactions with managers, supervisors, clients, peers, and those directly involved or impacted by a problem is critically important to your problem-solving success. Allies. Problem solving works best when you have a talented group of allies from whom you can gain clarity and resources. A diverse mix of thinkers and doers who can contribute resources or offer perspective makes it easier to tackle any challenge. Think about engaging allies who represent a wide range of viewpoints, subject matter expertise, and who are disciplined enough to keep you accountable to your objectives. Then, find out if these allies are willing to be a sounding board for you as you gather information about your problem. Opponents. You may also encounter people who hinder your progress. These might be people who do not agree that a problem exists or who are resistant to new ideas. There are a few ways to approach opponents to your problem-solving efforts. First, create a sense of urgency about the problem you're identifying. The need for change has to be seen rather than explained to generate enough emotion to compel opponents to your direction. Another way to engage opponents is to make them part of the problem-solving process. Involve them in brainstorming alternatives to increase buy-in, communicate often, and celebrate successes along the way. Now that you've identified those who you may need to involve in the process, you can start by asking for input and listening carefully for clues and information that helps you define your problem. Active listening requires that the listener fully concentrate, understand, respond, and then remember what's being said. When engaging in active listening, remember these guidelines. Acknowledge verbally and non-verbally what the other person says. Do things like making eye contact, offering affirmations like "go on," and nodding your head as though you understand things. Invite them to say more about what happened or how they feel about it. Pay attention to nonverbal cues, facial expressions, body language, and even long pauses. When you listen for more than just the words being spoken, you can begin to interpret what the other person feels and make observations about their needs. The 5 Whys strategy is simple. It's an effective tool for uncovering the root of any problem. Start with your problem and ask why 5 times to pinpoint the processes that aren't working. By repeatedly asking why, you can get to the heart of any problem. Less structured than more traditional problem-solving methods, 5 Whys is just what it sounds like, asking why over and over to get to the root of an obstacle or a setback. Asking why sounds simple, but answering it requires thought and intelligent application. Search for answers that are grounded in fact. They must be accounts of things that have actually happened, not guesses at what might have happened. This technique encourages an open dialogue that can trigger new ideas about a problem, whether done individually or with a group. Each why piggybacks off the answer of the previous why by digging deeper. The last answer should point towards a process that's not working well or that's missing. Problem solvers formulate how might we statements to gather the insights and struggles from the investigation and positively reframe them. Define your problem with statements using 3 little words. The how is solutions oriented, the might encourages optimism, and the we is collaborative. Use how might we statements as optimistic invitations to explore problems. The how might we approach to problem solving helps you innovate. You ask the right questions and use the power of language to help spark creative thinking and collaboration. How might we statements turn your challenges into opportunities? They're the culmination of gathering information about your problem. Some of the most successful organizations today are known for taking difficult, creative challenges by first asking, how might we improve X, or completely reimagine Y, or find a new way to accomplish Z. The how might we question opens you up to uncovering and reimagining the need before you. It defines your problem and asks a clear, concise, and captivating question about it. The how acknowledges that you do not yet have an answer and helps you explore a variety of alternatives instead of jumping to a conclusion. The might emphasizes that there's more than one right idea and inspires you forward towards the opportunity to find them. And finally, the we suggests that your efforts in solving important problems require teamwork and collective thinking. How might we statements start with the words how might we and finish with a phrase or a question relating to the problem. Again, this is a great tool to define your problems. The goal is to gather as much information as possible about the problem, so it's helpful to generate a number of how might we questions. There are 2 important questions to ask yourself about your how might we statement. First, does it allow for a variety of solutions? If it doesn't, try making it more broad. And second, is it narrow enough to let you know where you should start your brainstorming? If not, try adding some helpful boundaries. The how might we method is constructed in such a way that it opens the field for new ideas, admits that you do not currently know the answer, and encourages a collaborative approach to finding one. This is the best way to launch your brainstorming work. Identifying stakeholders, asking why 5 times, and how might we statements help you investigate problems.